Do I think Angolan men are loyal? Can I skip this question?
I won't lie, the first time I met my girl, she took me out. I was broke.
Do you prefer pay for the date or do you expect women split the bill?
Split that bill.
We joined the Angolan community in the United States to celebrate their culture and identity. Angola is a Portuguese-speaking country. Yes, some interview will be in Portuguese. Get ready to feel the energy, the rhythm in the pride of Angola. We are Wakanze. Like, comment and share. Which country is the most similar to Angola in terms of culture, peoples or vibes?
Brazil and Cape Verde.
I'm gonna say Cape Town.
Cape Verde, I would say maybe. Yeah, Cape Verde.
A África assimilou Moçambique, mas na América Latina eu acho que vi o Brasil muito próximo àquilo que é a nossa cultura angolana.
I can say like Puerto Rico.
Cape Verde.
Em primeiro lugar, seria Cabo Verde, que é muito semelhante à nossa cultura, e também Portugal.
Why Cape Verde is more similar than Angolan's neighbors such Zambia, Congo, Namibia?
I haven't really met anyone from there. Too many people from those places, so I can't speak on those places. But I've met people from Cape Verde and they're kind of similar.
I haven't seen anything that's quite like Angola. Angola, I love to be there. My family is there. Vibes is there. We party all night. South Africa is a good, like Cape Town, South Africa is a good comparison. I've been to Cape Verde and it's a little bit different.
Portugal, que tem tudo a ver conosco, desde onde Angola nasceu até onde Angola está hoje. Devemos os portugueses descobrir quem somos nós.
Yeah, I think because I grew up having, get together with my families, and I grew up in a huge family. So normally when I go out, like Sundays, you find a lot of Puerto Ricans, Dominicans in the park, like together. They enjoy spending time together, like as a family.
I feel like they're the ones that are more exposed. Like we share their music a lot. They're more exposed. Like they're more exposed than Namibia, I would say, than Congo. I mean, Congo is worldwide, but I don't know. I feel like not on a larger scale like Brazil and, Cape Verde.
I believe that most Africans, they are similar to one another. It comes from where we came from, and in terms of the deep culture, the food, the people, the music, the dialect sometimes. In Cape Verde, they speak Cape Verdean Creole. In Angola, they speak Portuguese, but in Angola, we speak the Portuguese, but the Cape Verdean Creole is not so far from it. So those countries, I don't see any other big difference between us. So other cultures, I feel like it's similar to ours too.
Eu acho que o primeiro fator que relaciona um do outro, vamos começar pela comunicação. Falamos todos comunicação em língua expressão portuguesa. Culturalmente, temos aspectos completamente diferentes, mas temos outros aspectos em comuns, tipo gostamos de uma boa música, de um samba. Temos outros aspectos culturais que não relacionam-se à comunidade angolana como tal, mas similarmente, sim, são questões assim parecidas que me fazem recordar um bocadinho daquilo que é a minha origem angolana.
On a scale 0 to 10, how loyal do you think Angolans men are?
On a scale of 0 to 10 for Angolan men's loyalty, I'm gonna have to say 2.
Why?
If you can find a very loyal Angolan man, bring him to somebody else. Me, I'm already taken, but bring him to somebody else so I can see it to believe it.
Angolan men, 0. But my husband is Angolan, but
Why 0?
I don't know. I hear too many stories. I hear too many stories. Sorry.
On a scale 0 to 10, how loyal do you think Angolans women are?
I never dated an Angolan woman, so I can't really speak on it in terms of in a relationship. But I love my mom. My mom's loyal. So my dad, so 10. I give it a 10.
Sem medo de errar, acho que 5%, né? Eu dou-lhes 5% daquilo que é a minha experiência. Vá ressalvar que há homens que merecem 10, mas eu particularmente vou nomear 5.
Por quê que das 5?
Eu acho que o homem africano, por natureza, vou falar dos homens angolanos, o simples facto de serem machistas já atribui, dá-me o direito de atribuir-lhes essa nota.
I would say 6.
Why?
I mean, it depends on the woman that you get. Sometimes you can be lucky and find a loyal woman. Sometimes you're not lucky. You just have to try to find the right person.
I would say an 8 because from my growing and from the women that I grew with, I'm not saying out of my boundaries, out of my circle. I believe women are pretty honest and loyal to their men.
Do you prefer pay for the date or do you expect women split the bill?
Split that bill. Split that babe. Split that bill.
When you go to a date, do you expect the men to pay or are you okay split 50-50?
I'm not a 50-50 type of girl, but if the guy asks me on a date, I do expect him to pay. But if I asked him on the date, we can split it.
I mean, I prefer to pay, but I won't lie. The first time I met my girl, she took me out. I was broke. She paid for everything. So at some point, it doesn't really matter. When you guys like love each other, it's not about money. But if you want to like have a great time together, is what that's the more important goal. If I don't have money and you have money, we can work with that.
Em primeiro lugar, a palavra homem, para mim, já diz tudo. Homem com H maiúsculo. Se tu és um homem com H maiúsculo, é tipo, todas cargas ou ajustamentos financeiros já é tua responsabilidade, porque o homem que banca a casa, que cuida da família, o homem que é o provedor. Então, para mim, eu não preciso sair com meu marido ou namorado para ele esperar que eu pague a metade da comida, por favor. Não tem lógica isso. Se você é um homem, é porque estás a convidar, porque já tens condição de se responsabilizar por tudo.
Born in Angola, we have a culture that man provides, right? It's been like that since my grandfather, great-fathers, our older ones, basically come with that mentality to us as youngers, that the man should provide for the woman, for the family. So when it comes into going to a date, it's really not a choice, but I'm a man, so to me it's like, I will provide that, then I will provide that environment for the person that's me. I will be responsible for that. If it comes into a point that the woman wants to offer, I'm not gonna stop from it, okay? Because some women too, most of it now, they are depend on their own. So nowadays they want to show that they can do that too, because they know from back then men would provide.
I think you can split 50-50. Like, it's okay to treat your man. The man doesn't have to always pay. Like, we can do 50-50, yeah.
Eu me sinto confortável em ter que dividir a conta, mas visto que foi um convite por parte dele, acho bem agradável que seja ele a pagar, não?
Who makes the best kizomba, Angolans or Cape Verdeans?
100% Angola, no question about it.
Angola.
Why?
Because just for the beat, the flow, I feel like Cape Verdean, they make great funana compared to like Kizomba. Kizomba is our identity.
Angola.
Why Angola?
We're the lead. I feel like we're the leaders in Kizomba. Sorry. I mean, Cape Verde makes great music too.
Well, the well saying that I learned is that it used to be the Cape Verdeans sing, the Angolans dance. But it comes into a point that it's even. We all sing, we all dance, because we have great Cape Verdean singers, we have great Angolan singers. To be honest, as a DJ, as a man that been in that industry of music, I love music. I DJ for I don't even know how long, to be honest. But there's no who's better now. I believe that our music, I say our because I say the Cape Verdean music is mine too, because as a DJ, and not only that, I have a family member that's Cape Verdean, my father, so I consider myself as Cape Verdean too, even though born in Angola. So our music, the Cape Verdean and the Angola are on a good path, and in terms of lusophonia, okay? So there's no such a, in my opinion, which one is better. Angolans sing great, Cape Verdeans sing great too.